Hey everybody, welcome back to Steve's Garage. It's been a great summer. Another beautiful day here in Western Mass. It's like 80 degrees today and it's October 12th or 13th, somewhere in there. Anyway, we're into a new mess, a couple of them. I'm going to start one project, but before I start the 35, which is over here, this is a frame I got from a guy with a title, and it's got a 21 bolt flathead engine on it. And this is a 1936. This was a 1936 AA truck. Or actually, it was a BB truck, double B truck. And I saw it and I'm like, just for the motor, tranny, and everything that goes with it in the rear end, I thought, this is worth it no matter what. And I got it real cheap, and but I dragged it in. It's been sitting outside for a couple of years, and I dragged it in because I want to try to get the motor to turn over, and of course the old ad, ran when parked. Well, everything runs to when it's parked in its last destination. So been a long time, I guess, but he did cover the carburetor with plastic, covered the distributor. And so it came, it didn't have a generator, but I went through all my parts in the back. I found a generator for it, which needs a bolt, and this is where the fan goes. And everything spins. The water pumps both spin nice, and I don't know the history of it, don't know the miles of it. I don't know when it last drove. So what I'm doing today is I'm just trying to get the starter in and get this, get it to turn over, and then maybe we can check some compression on it and see what's going on there. To get it running, I'm missing a bolt to hold this generator on, so I've got to get a bolt, fan belt, and I've got to set up a temporary coil, and I've got a 6-volt battery that's running. It's all charged up. So a couple things to get it going, so I want to see if I can get it fired up, just at least fire off and make some noise. So let's go over. It had a starter on it. I put some juice to it, and the starter would not turn. It would spark. I'd hear a click, but it wouldn't turn. So let me show you what I'm doing with the starter. Hope everybody's been having a great summer. By the way, it's now fall. Winter's coming. The summer I was busy. I haven't put a video on in a while. But we did a lot of running around, wife and I went to the beach and all that stuff a bunch of times, and I went to a bunch of cars and coffee and car shows. I did post some shorts on some cars, some great cars I saw, but other than that, I didn't do a lot of video work, just because. So let's take a look at what we're doing here. Hope you're all having a great day, and we'll go from there. Afterwards, we'll talk about the 35 project and what I'm going to be doing there. So this is the one I found in the back room, the starter, and this is the starter that came off of it, but when I fire it, actually this starter doesn't work, but on this starter I had this Bendix set up on here, and when it fires it would only go this far. It's just some drag in there, and I took it apart and I cleaned and I sanded all this, but it just doesn't operate freely. This was on here with the starter spring and all that, all in great shape. And if you see this one, this really runs freely. Doesn't look it, but it runs a lot freer than this one. So let's put it back on. We'll lube it up a little bit and see if we can get this sucker working. So went to some car shows. We do cars and coffee every Sunday with the locals. A lot of fun. You can go back in my other videos, see a second cousin of mine, his wife drove her Model A down to the Cars and Coffee. She's 95 years old. It's awesome to see. A very wonderful, smart woman. She loves the Model A. She's a part of the old Model A Restorers Club in New England here, in Western Mass, and really very knowledgeable and just a pleasure to be around. So I hope at some point to get an interview with her and talk about her history with the Model A's. And her husband Warren started the Model A Club locally here, and he lived to just about 101. So I guess he died a couple days before his 101st birthday. But I had the pleasure to meet him later in life. I wish I had met him a long time ago. But that was part of the family we just didn't really keep up with. And not for any reason, just that, you know, distant relatives, you know what I mean? So it was a pleasure to meet him. He'd show me around all his stuff and his shop. He was a machinist for years, and he made Model A luggage racks and sold them online. Or not online, I don't think online. This is back then, probably through Hemmings Motor News, you know. So that's that. So it was great to see him, meet him. I did his kitchen over. He was 95 years old. I did his kitchen over. Can you imagine that? At 95, say, yeah, let's do the kitchen over. So wonderful people. All right, so this is we're going to bend these tabs over, and it is said never to run a starter without these metal tabs. I don't know if you can see that little tab right there, but it's a piece of steel that's underneath the bolt, and you bend it up, and that'll keep that bolt from backing out. And of course, you know what'll happen, it'll come out and parts will fall off, and your transmission's right there. So that is that. It's soft steel, so it bends pretty easy. So that's that there. So let's see what we got. I'm going to double check what you're looking at so we can get you in the action. Oh yeah, you can see what's going on here. All right, we're going to light it up. I know a lot of you old schoolers will tell me not to do it this way, but these are really good jumper cables to carry all the current. We'll give it a shot. So what we're looking for is that this gear gets thrown forward, and what that does is the flywheel of the motor is right here. The teeth of the flywheel, so this big flywheel, the teeth are right about here. So when this thing engages, it runs in and catches the teeth of the flywheel, meshes, and that flywheel turns, and that turns your motor over. You get that? And then when the motor fires up, the flywheel takes off and throws this piece back to where it started. So I hope you get all that. That's a little liquid wrench there. So let's try this thing out. See that? It threw it forward, so it engaged. And like I said, the other one was not engaging. Give that one more shot. So that works. Success. So we'll disconnect. We'll hook it up. We'll see if we can get this motor to turn over and see if the motor's good or not. I have no idea. I was told it was good, and I kind of went on the guy's word. And, you know, we'll take it from there. Everything can be repaired, obviously, so we're not afraid of that. But like I said, I got it for nickels and dimes, so I'm not really worried about it. I got my little travel wrench here. Has all different sizes on it. It's kind of cool. And, you know, nothing fancy, but it does the job for doing little odds and ends like this where you're putzing around. You don't want to go digging for a wrench every time you find something a different size. It's a good little thing to have. So let's get set up on the engine. Now when you put it in the motor, you want to make sure you're spun back to the stop here, because this spring, you know, fires it forward when it jumps. So all little tricks that you will gather in time if you're doing this kind of stuff. There you go. We'll just snug it. We don't gotta send it home, because this thing will probably be off 8 more times before, you know, when you do stuff like this, things get put together and taken apart multiple times. So don't tighten them up like you're, as the old man would say, tightening tank treads. Well, let's see what we got. It's a positive ground, by the way. So the negative is your power, positive is grounding. Let me take a look at that afterwards. So these are insulated in here. They're tough to, you can't, like, you know, this is here, it doesn't have power to it, but the copper does, so it's hard to touch down. So let's see what we got. I'm thinking to grab the motor, but it doesn't have enough power to turn the motor. Oh, let's go to plan B and C. I've got to find my crank. Hang on 1 minute. All right. So what I'm going to do is take the plugs out, and so that'll get rid of my resistance from the compression of the engine working against me. because all the cylinders, you know, pushing up, giving you all that back pressure. Just one more thing to fight you. Now when I first got this, I dropped some Marble Mystery down each cylinder head to, you know, so it wouldn't rust up during winter. It's been outside for 2 or 3 years now. And, you know, we're in New England, so we get rain and snow. So the plugs look really good. So when it was running really clean from what I can see. So let's get the plugs out. Those plugs will probably still fire too. Get all our plugs out. I paused the camera and I was looking for, I have a Model A you know, a hand crank to turn the engine. Can I put my hands on it right now? No. But you know, when you're working around the shop, you'll find that thing every couple of months. You go, oh, there it is. But where do you know, where is it now when I need it? I have no clue. That's how it goes. So what I did was, a long time ago, I made one. So, you might get a laugh out of it. But I made this hand crank, you know, just welded up some bar stock and a piece of steel on the end to see if I can crank these things. It does turn, but it's tight. So I think what I have to do is get a socket that will fit that. And let's try it one more time. See if we can get it to turn. What I'm saying is, if I put a socket on there and use my air tool, I can, you know, run it and get everything lubed up inside there. But it's just been sitting so long, it's really tight. No, it's not going to turn, unfortunately. So we've got to go to plan B. The motor's not froze up, so it does turn, but I just believe that it's been sitting so long. You know, it's really tough. So with this piston, with the plugs out, it should turn really easily. But I think it's just gummed up. The oil doesn't look too bad. You know, I mean, it is what it is. Hard to see on my black fingers, but it's not that crazy. So, I mean, for sitting all these years. So, anyway, I think she's going to be a runner. Just have to, got a long way to go. So I will keep you posted on that one as we go. I don't have a socket that's deep enough to get on the front there. Right here, I need like an 1.1/8" socket that's deep to get in there. Then I put my impact wrench on there and spin that motor and hopefully loosen things up. There's probably some corrosion on the cylinders, and you know, that's, the rings are dragging and dragging. But if you know, Yeah, see, everything's bone dry in there. I don't know if you can see it, but these are the valves. It's hard for you to see. You can see the valves there because the valves fire right under the spark plug. Hard to get a picture. But anyway, everything's just gummed up. So I think if we get a spin, a bunch of revolutions in there, spin, 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 we'll get some oil down in there. I'll spray it with some more liquid juice, and that's that. This is our next project right here, the 35 Ford. Haven't done anything to it yet, but this is going to be the one, the next one. So, shut this. The thing is not attached. I had it off at one point. So this motor here is the same exact motor, because this is a 35, and the one we're showing you that we're working on here today is a 36, and they're pretty much identical. So I can get a lot of ideas from this to make sure I'm doing everything right on this one here. And plus I love the flatheads, worked on them plenty. And that's that. So this is my first video back. I haven't made a video in a couple of months. So thanks a lot for tuning back in. Keep following. We're going to start working on this. We're going to cut this roof off, drag it all forward, and try to turn this 35 into this car right here, into a coupe. And you can hang in for all the trouble and all the, cuts and bruises and the blood. We've got a couple of hands here. These are for some Halloween props that we're working on. And I made these hands out of foam rubber and wire. So there you have it. It's a great back scratcher. Anyway, thanks a lot for coming back. Let's try to get this motor going so I can, because this project here, I want to turn into an old race car. Like the old 20s cars you used to see. You see the videos, the black and white videos of. So going to be a big old race car. Going to get rid of the dual wheels. Already worked on that, and the wheels all come off, but I have to leave it on because the inside wheel's flat on this side. So yeah, lots going on. All right, guys, thank you very much, and we will talk to you soon. Have a great day.